I like how you commented that my shirt matches my glasses.
It really does. It's the perfect color.
Well, you know, I set out to do that when I got this new shirt made. I was like, oh, well, I have these glasses. I got to match the shirt.
So you're just gonna, that's gonna be like your uniform every day? Just wear it every day?
No, but this one's called turquoise, by the way.
It's not like some like ocean blue or something?
No, this one's turquoise. What you're wearing is like vintage navy or something.
Looks like just navy blue.
It's vintage
Dark
navy.
blue.
It's vintage navy.
What is it, Heather Gray?
Heather Gray.
Where did they come up with these names?
I should just name a kid Heather Gray.
It sounds like a porn star or something.
Maybe.
Maybe
Could
it
be.
is.
But these aren't in the store. If you guys are interested in this color, either the vintage navy or the turquoise, let us know on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever, and maybe I'll make a limited edition run of just these colors. This shirt is a different material. It's very much like American Apparel. It's from a company called Next Level, which is basically the same thing. It's just the difference is one's made in China and one is American Apparel, which I now actually own stock in.
Oh yeah, you do.
I do. I bought
that.
some stock when the stock tanked, and it's still tanked, I believe, but that's the point. It's like a penny stock to play around with,
Yeah.
and maybe it will do well, but that's I still will buy these over American Apparel.
So are you just messing around with that kind of shirt right now, or are you actually gonna maybe transfer?
They have
and do
different,
that?
maybe as a different thing because of different colors. Like turquoise is awesome. I love this color.
That is a nice color.
So-
Yeah.
so
So
I
they don't
definitely
offer
had
that color in the regular shirts
Not in
you
the
get.
4980s.
Interesting.
Which is what I get for the Hanes ring spun cotton.
Yeah.
So this is more stretchy, more fashion forward, as they call it.
A lot of bands use that kind of shirt.
They do. Are we ready to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com. Welcome to Raw Talk episode number 98 as we creep into 100 again. This one tentatively being called Put Yourself into Situations to Be Successful. And I'll explain that as we move forward. But we don't have, well, let's turn to Sutter.
Crickets.
Crickets. We got Sutter sitting in the chair today. Well, instead of Sutter in the chair, we've got the Postman Fro helmet.
The only
hat.
thing that's left of him
Yes, he disappeared.
in the safari.
How does a hipster disappear?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have a punchline. You guys give me a punchline. But anyway, Sutter's not here, which means that we are sitting here with clocks rotating because we have to reset the cameras that the Atomoses aren't attached to.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons we absolutely love using the Atomos, is the fact that it's just endless recording as long as you have enough space on your card or hard drive and enough battery power.
It is much easier having that main angle right here, just having it nonstop.
It's
the entire
been-
show.
It's been, what, 8 months or so since we've been using it?
Maybe even more than that, because we had the original Atomos, or the Ninja 2, and now we
Right.
have the Blade that we upgraded to.
The Blade, man.
The screen on the Blade is 1,000,000,000 times better. It's so nice.
Oh, I know. It's like having a phone screen, but even sharper and better.
Yeah.
What they were telling me, though, is, you know, you've got those options. They're expensive. You're looking at, what, $899, I believe, for the Blade?
Something like that, yeah.
Which is great because it's a monitor. So you can preview stuff. You can see the out of focus things, or the focus. I love the focus peaking. That is incredible.
That's my favorite part of that.
That would come in handy for a lot of things. But if that's too expensive, or you already have monitors as previews, you can always look at the Ninja Star, the new one, and the price was, I wrote it here, $295. Before you get those, what do they call them? Those cards? CFast cards.
CFast cards, yeah.
Which Atomos told me they bought up a ton of, so they have their own CFast so that it makes it more affordable. Because right now, the CFast 2 cards are extremely expensive. They have the CFast 1, which are perfectly fine, and it doesn't record 4K on the Ninja.
Okay. So
On
you
the
need the CFast 2 to record?
No, I don't even think it does the 4K on there.
Ninja itself. Okay.
Yeah, but it does the ProRes. We like using the ProRes over the compressing of the MPEG 4.
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
almost. It's not RAW because it's not RAW format, but it gives you just a more ability to tweak the file. It's what the pros.
Way better for color grading and post. Yeah.
Absolutely, which is awesome. Oh, they also wanted me to let you know, not them, me, you.
Yeah.
Nikon has put out a bundle, a D810 bundle. I'm just going to read it. Nikon is now including the Ninja 2 along with the D810 in the Nikon Filmmakers bundle, which is available.
Somebody's calling
me.
Who's calling?
Can I take it?
Sure, why not?
We'll pause.
All right.
Okay, so that was DHL on the phone, and there's a package which we'll talk about after I finish talking about the Atomos thing.
Was Postman Sutter downstairs?
Postman Sutter was not.
Oh, I forgot. His helmet's right here anyway.
What if he's in the box?
Oh, what's in the box?
What's in the box? Anyway, we were talking about the D810, right?
Yes. The bundle.
The bundle. So Nikon has the Filmmakers bundle with the D810 and the Ninja 2.
Ooh.
Which, when the Fronos Photo guide video guide comes out, I am thinking I'm going to give away my own bundle.
That'll be cool.
You're going to probably get to choose between a D810 and a Ninja and road stuff, as well as, or on the flip side, go the Canon route.
Gotcha.
It's going to be like a $5,000 or $6,000 prize.
I'd probably go the dark side.
Yeah, well, it's a $5,000 or $6,000 prize. But anyway,
it's great, the D810 though. I mean, that's the new low light king. They're saying too.
I can't wait to use that thing. Nikon, I was supposed to have it yesterday or today.
The D810,
but it got stuck. It didn't get stuck. It's that they haven't shipped them yet from Nikon.
Okay,
which is really frustrating.
I'm surprised.
Can I have my pen back? I really feel naked without a pen.
I figured.
Thanks, because I like to have a pen in my. I like things in my fingers.
Well, normally we have Sutter taking the show notes, but I got to make sure I write down everything while we go.
So anyway, Atomos. I'm going to be giving away a Ninja Star. I have to come up with a contest. I haven't had a minute to do that yet, but I'm just going to tell you what you can start doing because I'm going to make it so it's not the easiest thing in the world because I want somebody that's going to win a $500-ish total package prize.
You should throw in some nunchucks.
Some nunchucks?
Yeah.
Yes, to actually do something. I want to see... It's going to end up being a video. I'm going to want to see video. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube. You can keep it unpublished or private or something. Well, you can keep it unlisted, and you can end up sending me the link to it. But I don't have all the information on how I want to do it yet. But it's probably going to be a 1 to 2 minute video, something, a video short. I don't care if it's you talking to the camera about what you want. You probably won't win if you talk about why you want it. I want you to be creative. And I don't care if you have a D3100 or a Rebel T2i or you have a D4S or a 1DX. I just want somebody to get creative with a cool short that you have to... I'm going to do this because I don't want somebody using something they've already done. You're going to have to just have something in there that says Atomos on it.
Okay.
It's going to have to put something in there.
Like even if it's just like something
just a piece of paper that says Atomos at the very
down.
beginning.
Yeah.
That or in there in the main, you got to have something that has Atomos. So I know that it's not something that they did at a different time.
They can do like a ninja short film.
But be whatever you want it to be. And Sutter cannot. Well, Sutter can enter.
Do you?
So that do you? So that's going to be it. I'm going to create a separate video just to announce that Atomos giveaway. But that's what I'm going to want. So you can start to get thinking on what you're going to want to make, and it's going to be a 1 to 2 minute long video. Make sure Atomos is in there somewhere with the ninja thing. Because that's what you want. Anyway, so that's Atomos. We talked about that.
Cool.
We still love it, and I can't wait to travel with it with all the cameras having them.
Oh, dude, that'll be great. And then I don't have to worry about keeping time or any of that kind of stuff. And it just looks so much better in post.
It does look so much better in post. It made our workflow a hell of a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked about the new shirts. We talked about the Atomos giveaway. I had to get more peanut butter crackers.
Oh, my God.
So,
did you get enough?
Well, that's one box of 45.
You got
so it's 90.
2 boxes.
It's 2 boxes.
We do go through like 9 of these a week. I was telling you earlier that we probably do.
I only eat 1.
Well, I go through like 3 an episode. 1 before, 1 after, and then usually like 1 after photo news. And Sutter and I are just munching away.
You cracker munchers.
It sounded bad.
Yes, it did. But no, I just had to get those in because I love traveling with those. Those are my go-to protein for when traveling on an airplane or something. It's just, it really holds you over.
It does, it does.
So that's why I get those. Peanut butter. Oh, okay. I'm not going to tell you what was in the box.
Was that product placement right there?
No,
Austin. Peanut butter crackers.
This show is brought to you by, not actually brought to you by, this show is brought to you by Austin Peanut Butter Crackers, now in 45 packs. If you buy 2 boxes, you get a half box free. That's 45, and 45 is 90 crackers. Oh, they're crunchy. There's 6 crackers in a packet, and each one of those is 12 calories and 12 calories of goodness, but there are 8 grams of protein, and when you have 8 grams of protein, it keeps you going throughout the day. This has been brought to you by Austin Peanut Butter Crackers. Not actually brought to you by Austin Peanut Butter Crackers.
Next week they'll be like an official sponsor.
Okay, somebody get on Austin. Who works at Austin? Peanut Butter Crackers. So, the Billy Joel thing.
Yes.
I want to talk about that because put yourself into situations to be successful. Mostly it's put yourself into situations. And I am a terrible decision maker when it comes to doing shit. And what usually happens is nothing happens and I get upset. So I wanted to go to the Billy Joel show. I was trying to have Live Nation get me a set of tickets to take somebody. I wasn't having a good time of getting anybody to go with me, but it was last minute. It was like 6 hours before the show.
Yeah, you asked me like the day of, and I was like, I can't. It's a little too late.
I was thinking of buying tickets. I went on to StubHub, and then Live Nation called me that they couldn't get any, even though they released them. They said they've never had this issue where they couldn't get a ticket. So I was looking. There was like section 135, $250 or $200 for the ticket, and you're sitting really far away for 200 and some bucks. Then there was like row 17 was 300 and some dollars. But before the show, it dropped to $250, but that was before the show. And then there was like a third row ticket, which was $100 more.
A random third row
ticket.
ticket.
There were 3 of them. One was being sold by itself, and one was being sold as a pair.
Yeah.
And so it was like 4 hours before the show time. It was like 4 o'clock. Yeah, show was at 8, and I just decided that I was going to buy it and go myself.
You can probably find great single tickets. I mean,
you probably can. If you wait right before the show a couple hours, you can definitely find them as they drop in price.
Especially like an hour or two before the show. I bet it's really cheap.
An hour before. Look, that one went from 3 something in the 17th row all the way down to 240 something.
Yeah, because then they just want to get rid of them.
Well, some of them do. But so I bought the ticket, and I just was going myself. So I could spend a little more money because I wasn't buying 2 tickets to take a date or something like that. Plus third row, awesome. So I get there. And then I'm talking to this one security guy goes, he's like, "You're a photographer, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I want to tell you what you can do during this song, during the like 9th or 10th song." He's
he
like,
assumed you automatically were shooting?
No, he wasn't assuming. He was just like, I'm like, "I bought a ticket. I'm sitting here and watching. It's a great seat." He's like, "So I'll let you know that after X song, look for their security to tell the first 3 rows that they can move up to the front of the stage."
Very cool.
So I was like, "All right, awesome." And then I'm like, "Who's opening?" He's like, "Some guy named Gavin Grawl." I'm like, "You mean Gavin DeGraw?" I'm like, "What the hell?" So I texted Gavin, and I'm like, "Gavin, you're in Philly. You didn't call me to shoot. I just bought a ticket, not complaining about buying a ticket because he couldn't get me better tickets anyway. And I didn't bring gear, or I would have been able to shoot because it would have been awesome to have him in front of 50,000 people in that stadium."
Yes, this was Bank Park.
So anyway, that happened. I'm like, "Well, maybe we can get me up to MSG to shoot the show."
What's he doing? A show every month, Billy Joel? There?
He's basically doing one every month now.
He's like the house musician now.
Basically, he's a resident there.
Man, dude, that's where I would want to be.
Yeah. Well, that's great because he doesn't have to travel too far because he's from New York anyway. So then I'm standing there, and the guy with a Billy Joel All Access Pass is with a camera, Canon, taking pictures, and he smiled at me, and then he came back around, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "You know, what's your job?" He's like, "I'm Billy Joel's archivist." He's like, "And I love your videos." It's like, "I've learned so much from your stuff." And
that's too funny.
And I love your shirt. No, I got to get a picture for my wife. She's gonna be so happy I met you. I was like, "Holy crap!"
And didn't he put like a picture of you on his
that's on the
website?
It's on the website from the show that he put that up. And then I started talking to him like, "So you're the archivist? What's that mean?" He's like, I help get the footage for the DVDs. I help organize the content creation for the shows and all of this stuff." I'm like, "That's pretty cool. I'd love to interview you for Raw Talk. Maybe I could come up to New York at one of the MSG shows and sit there and try to talk to you." So all of this happened. I wasn't planning on anything to happen when I went to the show. I was just going to go to the show and enjoy myself. And then out of nowhere, this guy starts talking to me because he knows me. So I put myself in this situation, and now it's going to lead to us going up to MSG to do a Billy Joel show.
That's so cool.
After this, I talked to him, and I'm like, "I'd love to shoot a show." And he's like, "We'd be honored to have you shoot a show." It's like, okay.
So has he always been his photographer from like day one?
I don't know if he's been his photographer, but he's been around since the 70s.
Because I wonder, I mean, we talked about this before, but I bet you it's one of those deals where like he was just a really good friend of Billy's, and he's like, "Hey, I kind of do photography," and he's like, "Well, come on tour." It's one of those things where you'd rather have a friend with you versus, someone you don't really know who's a...
Yeah, I got to figure that one out.
Industry.
Well, that's why we want to interview him. But so that happened. So a great thing happened there is that I may be able to go do that. So you're going to do them both? So I may be able to do that, shooting that show up in New York. And then today, Thursday, there's a show in New York. We were going to try to go up today and do it, you and I. And what ended up happening is Billy they were too full. So the archivist like, come up in September or something. And I was like, "Well, in September, we're going to be in Germany, so I won't be able to do it. So maybe we'll go up in October." He's like, "Absolutely." But I got an email this morning from Gavin's people. They're like, "Yeah, you can shoot the show for Gavin."
Little last minute.
It's very last minute. I can hop on a train, and I was trying to figure out if Gavin's going to be doing sound check because I'm not looking to shoot the show from the pit. I'm not looking to shoot shows of Gavin and the band singing.
You want
that
something
would just
different.
be the worst. Speaking of Gavin, here's a text from Gavin. Okay. I'm not going.
He's skipping sound check.
He's skipping sound check.
That's why, yeah.
So isn't that the coolest though?
That is cool, yeah.
It's like Modest is around, and then you get I was waiting to hear from Gavin to see if he'd be there for sound check. And the reason is You're in MSG, one of the most famous stages in the history of shows
In America, yeah.
Yeah, and so now finding out that he's not going to do sound check this time, I'm probably not going to go up today, which I could have gotten up there and I would have shot the show. But the point is that I'd want to shoot the show from the stage or from the side of the stage so that I could see the venue and all the lights and all the phones and all that stuff, making it awesome. Because when I was at Billy's show the other day and I'm in the front row touching the stage, it seems like it's a private show for me. Until you turn around and realize there's a baseball stadium with 50,000 people behind you.
That's insane.
That was insane. So that was pretty damn cool. But so with Gavin, I'm going to try to shoot on stage, and I basically got the approval for Billy Joel from his archivist to go and shoot. And he's like, Billy doesn't like people on stage and stuff like that. I'm like,
understandable.
Just introduce me, and maybe he could understand what I'm trying to do and what I'm going to capture, because those are the shots. They don't need a shot for the archives of Billy behind a piano playing. What is meant to be shown are those scenic shots. That to me, and the behind the scenes and the sound check, the things that nobody really sees.
The tremendous photos.
The tremendous photos
for.
is what I want to capture. So the moral of the story is you want to put yourself in the situations, just situations. Sometimes do the thing. Like, I am very picky. I'm very hard. It's hard for me to make certain decisions because I'm like, well, if I make this decision, what happens if this happens? Or what if I go out and then this and then you end up doing nothing? So I'm glad I went to that show. It was great. Then I went up to New York on Monday, right?
Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
I had dinner with with Adam and Adi, who took who put together the trip to go to Israel, and I set up a meeting to go to Squarespace. And so I tweeted before I left that, hey, I'm heading up to New York City for the day. And then out of nowhere, I got a tweet back from HuffPost Photo department. They're like, if you're coming to New York, why don't you stop by our office? So I had the guy email me, and he gave me his address, and he told me how to get there on the subway, because I've never really navigated the subway myself.
Yeah.
And I did, and I asked some lady, I was like, is this going to where I need to go? And she's like, you're on the right train. I'm like, awesome. So I got there and got a tour of the Huffington Post's office.
Very cool.
Ariana Huffington's office. She wasn't there, but he showed me her office.
Is it ginormous?
It's a big office.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole office, there's like 800 people working on the floor. All have iMacs. All have laptops. All are just working. Then they took me down to their studio where they do 8 hours of live content a day. It's almost like a TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
They do 8 hours of live content a day.
Wow.
On air.
Live.
Wow. It's like a real TV studio, but not on TV, so there's none of those FCC regulations.
Interesting.
So they're like, we want you to blog for us. So I'm seeing what that entails. But then they're like, I left them. I had 2 bobbleheads with me. I was going to leave one with Adam, but I decided to use one here to give them a bobblehead. So they put it on the boss's desk, and she emailed me, and she's like, we loved it. And I was telling them about some ideas I want to work on. And Huffington Post is owned by AOL, which is, AOL's not doing too well, but whatever. If somebody wants to do a show, then this could be an in to do a show for them on their channel, which would get sent out to a ton more people.
Is this like a YouTube channel or?
No, just on Huffington Post. Imagine if
it's just a live viewer pretty much.
Yeah, imagine if once a month or once a week or something there was me doing some kind of educational video just for them.
That would be cool.
Right? Or going to do their live show and doing a live Q&A. Or doing something about photography because they have so much content they need to fill.
And they have so much of those like sister sites and everything.
They call them verticals.
Verticals? Okay.
They have so many different verticals. Art, music, food,
yeah, there's
tech.
So many different
There's like 20,
verticals.
30 different verticals,
Really
which I was
is.
like, does it make sense to have this many verticals because you're segmenting everything? He's like, yeah, it's like one of the things we're working on right now. I'm just honest with people when we're talking about it. So because I went to New York, I didn't know what I was going to do. I left myself an extra 2 hours. By the time 12, my meeting was at 2. I got in at noon. I went right to the Huffington Post thing, talked to these guys, and now we have I've never met them,
yeah,
but that's
a
good connection. And that's because they got me on Twitter. I've always talked about
man.
Twitter.
Twitter, how it brings people together. It really is.
Twitter is one of the strongest things you could ever use.
Yeah.
Because it's instant. It's quick. It's 140 characters. It's to the point. You get shit done.
Quick replies. Yes. No.
Email me real quick. It's just how you
get
you get past the gatekeepers, because I'm in charge of my own Twitter. You're in charge of your own Twitter. A lot of celebrities are in charge of their own Twitter. And if they see, like, I'm still trying to get Mark Summers.
That's awesome.
Double Dare.
Double Dare.
He only has 4,000 Twitter followers, so I'm
so you know he's reading every reply.
Well, you know that somebody is, so I got to try to get that more.
Yeah. Is he verified?
I don't know if he's verified, but I got it from MMR.
Yeah.
Because they have him on all the time. So I asked for his information if they could forward me something, and they said, well, try him on Twitter.
Does he live around here?
He's in Philly.
Really?
Or Jersey. He's close. This is where he produces. A lot of people don't understand that Mark Summers got heavily into the Food Network. He did Unwrapped,
Yeah, I
which
didn't
is
know that.
one of the best shows ever. And he's also in charge of Restaurant Impossible, or he used to be. It used to be his Page Productions or something that I believe it's named after his daughter. Anyway, I digress here. The moral of the story is put yourself into situations and things could happen. Which I know it sounds lame and stupid, but the truth is, if you put yourself into places, you have a better chance of things happening for the better. Well, or it could be for the worse. It depends on the situations. I'm not saying be stupid and do something dumb that could lead to a bad thing, like making uninformed decisions or non-smart decisions. It's just like, just by going out and doing things, you're putting yourself into situations where you could end up being successful. You may not be going out there being like, oh, I'm going to get a job today, but it just may be who you meet on the street. Speaking of meeting on the street, when I was going to Huffington Post and I'm walking New York style briskly through the subway station, I got stopped by this Polish couple. I was walking really fast and the girl goes, can I get a photo with you? And I was like, sure. She's like, I love your videos. And I'm going, she's like, we're from Poland. And I'm like, that's funny because I just today, this morning, we booked a trip to Poland before going to Photokina. So if you're in Poland, we're going to be in Krakow, we're going to be in Warsaw, and there will be a tour of Auschwitz going on.
Wow.
And I did get an email back from Auschwitz.
You did?
Oh, God, that sounds so bad.
Did they approve anything?
They said for non-commercial use, it's perfectly fine, but I want them to send me a letter.
You want something formal?
I want a letter formally saying it's okay to shoot video and it's okay to shoot
so
photos.
You can show up and be like,
just
bam.
So I can show up and be like, here.
Yeah.
Somebody, I verified it. And we're gonna whatever video we decide to do there or photos will be done with the utmost respect.
For sure.
Possible. I'm not talking about doing a 5-minute portrait there. It's not meant to be anything commercial. It's meant to be my whole thing with travel.
That's more like a personal project for you.
It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
But it should be a personal thing for the world. And the way that I left it with them is I said, my goal with this is to make people aware. It's kind of tourism type thing. This is good for your country. This is also good for people to come and see and learn from the past. I'm going to talk about my personal feelings. At least that's what I plan on doing. Who knows how we're going to feel when we're there, because 1.2 million people died there.
It's going to be an emotional trip for sure.
For no matter if you're Jewish, not Jewish, it should be emotional. But that's what I want to share with the world. I want to share that with people so they see what it's like to be there and what I feel and what you feel like when we're there. And that's what I want to put out there. It's not about making extra content. It's just about doing that type of thing. You good?
Yeah.
I see you looking all over the place.
No, I'm
Were you
just
thinking?
Just thinking, yeah.
So anyway, met this Polish couple. They asked for a photo. I stood there and I talked to them. Didn't care where I needed to be. Just wanted to talk. It's unbelievable to get stopped, especially from somebody from around the world. To get stopped and recognized in New York City.
It still blows my mind.
And then
walking
down the street, walking across the street, this other guy stopped me. Was just like, love your videos. I learned so much from you. And he's telling his friend, he's like, who was a filmmaker, he's like, you really need to watch this guy's stuff. It's how I've learned everything. And then that's just me crossing the street. The guy's like, I got to stop you. I got to thank you.
Dude, if you were like an actor or something like that, or a celebrity in LA, it'd be really hard for you to disguise yourself.
Yeah.
You can't just wear a hat and glasses because you have the giant
Slash
fro.
does, though.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Slash, he keeps his hair down. If he keeps his hair down, you really don't know it's
Does
Slash.
he just walk around with a giant top hat?
No top hat. No, he's somebody that carries a top hat for him.
And a guitar.
But it's just really awesome. Oh, and speaking of, I sat there in the park.
Yes.
Right? I was walking in the park, or I was going to go to B&H. And they actually tweeted at me also that I should stop by. But being that dinner was going to be only a half a block, like 3 blocks away from where I was at 4 o'clock. Dinner was going to be at 6:15. It was 4 o'clock. I'm like, well, there's a park. I'm just going to sit here. I did the photo news for you. I had to hack out the description while you were editing. And so I took a picture of the cross street and said, I'm at this park if anybody wants to come out and sit. This kid, Chris, came out and sit. He does a lot of nonprofit stuff. He came out to say hi. Guy, I believe the guy's name was Guy. He came out. He was the first one to come out and sit there, and we just bullshitted for a little bit. And then a girl came from Hoboken. She got on the train, the ferry, and she came over, and she sat with us, too. So a bunch of people came out. It's just random. Like, I'm sitting in the park. If you want to talk, come on over.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty cool.
How long were you there for?
I probably ended up sitting there for over 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
I was just sitting there doing work and enjoying the scenes.
Cool.
And people watching.
People
and-
watching is the best.
Yeah.
Especially in New York.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed sitting there. It was a nice park, little park, but hey, if I'm there and people came out, that was cool. So I hit that. Street the Polish people, headed to New York, and I know I'm taking a lot of time today, aren't I?
Yeah. We're like a half an hour in already, which blows my mind. Remember that time we said we were going to be a short episode?
It's going to be a short episode. And then the last thing was, I mean, but this is good information, Steven.
It is great information.
Steven, stop interrupting me.
You had a lot of stuff going on this week. That's why you're recapping pretty much your week, which
was
normally
important.
you don't do this much.
But also, we're not doing a long extended flying solo. We've got rapid
so we
fire
had time
flying.
to talk a little more in the beginning before we haven't even started photo news yet.
I know. But the other thing that happened was the Dirty Heads. Remember, I photographed them. Put the pictures up.
Controversy.
It's so controversial.
So controversial.
Well, I wasn't going to bring this up, but somebody took umbrage and said that the video I made, or the post that I did, basically, I said, what did I say? I don't even remember what I said, but I posted something about the Dirty Heads.
The Secret, right?
No, that was that was it. Well, that was one video, but then somebody left a comment because I'm like, Dirty Heads changed the stuff. They put all the things. Everything was cool. Oh, what I wrote is because it was promoting the last Raw Talk, and it was like, this band used my photos and didn't give me credit. Do you think I flipped out? Question mark.
Okay.
And so somebody's like, that's clickbait. Well, fucking A, yeah. You got to come up with headlines that people are going to click to read the story. That's not lying. That's in the story. So then somebody was like, you handled it so poorly. You were not professional at all with how you handled it. And he's like, I went back to look for the story and couldn't find it, which means you probably deleted it because you're an asshole or something. So I found the story and I reposted it. I'm like, actually, I wasn't a dick. And I know when I'm being a dick, but it was very professional to say, hey guys, this may have been a mistake. Here's what the photo credit could say, and they fixed it without a problem. So anyway, I got an email from them yesterday, and they're like, we want to use this photo. They wanted to crop it. We want to crop it in, they said.
Your favorite.
As long as I'm not doing it. Because they asked me if I'm... But anyway, they're like, we want to use one of your photos for publicity. And I was like, well...
We're going to crop it 100% and then blow it on a billboard. Is that okay?
Basically what I said to them, I emailed them back. I'm like, thanks for thinking of me first and foremost. Thank you for getting back to me. When I gave the images, they were really just for online use, non-promotional. What use would you like to be used? Because if they're going to be used for some publicity, I'm going to charge you for them. There's going to be a fee. So they got back to me with what they could pay, and they offered to pay, which was nice. And then they said it's only going to be used for one press release, just for one press. It's not to do the whole tour and not to release. And I said, you know what? Just use it. For what they were offering me, just use it. It's going to look better for me in the long run. It wasn't a lot of money to be used once. I thought it was going to be used for promoting an entire thing, but it wasn't. But the way that I left it was I didn't just flat out say, no, you're going to have to pay me for it. I wanted to hear what it was first. So the moral of the story is that free shoot that I did almost turned into paying. I turned it down, but that's goodwill for the future.
Yeah.
And an in. So
I bet you I will actually probably get that press release too in an email from the band for the radio station.
All right.
I guarantee, and it's going to pop up and be like, bam. Are they going to credit now that photograph or anything? They're just going to use it,
They said
correct?
they would give me credit.
Really? Even in a press release?
Even in a press release, which is not
Interesting.
normal.
No, it's not.
Because some people saw the photos of Modest Yahoo that I put up, that Modest put up, and they did credit me on Modest's page at Frono's Photo for they posted one that I shot, November when I was in California.
Which you couldn't show prior to
Which
that,
I couldn't
correct?
show prior, and I shared it on my page. And they're like, well, there's this picture that ran in an article, and it's yours. I'm like, well, when the press office, when the PR team, or when a management is sending a photo to publishers to do, they don't usually put photo credit on it.
Well, not especially because they paid you for the job.
Exactly, and that's how it works. I think that's it, Steven. I think it's going to be time for your photo muse.
Photo muse.
Because I covered everything I wanted to cover almost.
All right. Well, I would say you're gonna do the cameras.
I'm going to do the
time.
cameras. We're
Yeah.
at 14 minutes and 44 seconds.
Very nice. All right, so first up, we talked about an Aperture to Lightroom migration tool that came out a few weeks back. Well, now Adobe has officially put up their own microsite dedicated to the switch over to Lightroom. The website comes complete with a quick guide in the form of a PDF, which shows you how to manually transfer images from Aperture. Now, Adobe has announced that they are indeed working on their own migration tool, so if you'd rather have it more of an automatic process, you might want to wait for that. Here's what they have to say about it in quotes. At Adobe, we're working on a migration tool to help you bring your photos into Adobe Photoshop Lightroom from Aperture. But if you're eager to switch before the tool is ready, this guide can help ease your transition. We recognize that this migration tool may be migration may be a challenging process, and offer the following resources to help get you to speed with Lightroom and provide a roadmap for successfully migrating your photos. The first challenge is that the terminology, layout, and controls of the two applications are very different, end quote. So that's their main issue right now, is that they got to figure out how they're going to do the migration.
But that's great that they jumped on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's like, I talk about, Kelby jumped on that really quick, where they put up a video, because he knows everything. He's in cahoots with Adobe.
He knows probably about it a couple weeks ahead.
They did a video right away, a live show, getting people to talk about how you make the switch from Aperture to Lightroom. And we've been talking about Lightroom since day one over Aperture anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's made by a company that's in graphics. Not saying that Apple wasn't. Speaking of Apple, we both watched Jobs last night.
Yes, we did. Well, I had it on.
You had it on, and you texted me.
And I said that early Steve Jobs reminded me a lot of you, just from his...
But what part?
Just the beginning, where he one, he wouldn't take no for an answer half the time. Two, total businessman. Three, hardworking. I mean, he was working every day nonstop, trying to get this business from his freaking garage up to an actual corporation.
Yeah.
He built it from the ground up. It's exactly what you did.
But
I mean, as I'm going through, I wanted to be like, Jared, yes, Jared, yes.
Well,
not all of his qualities, but
no. I'm not going to say that.
So I told you to turn it on, basically.
And I did, and it was on Netflix. It was a long movie. I love movies like this.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
They inspire me, just like The Social Network. Now, you get past the Ashton Kutcher part really quick, because the beginning, it just seems like it's a fake guy playing Steve Jobs, which is fine.
I think he did actually a pretty good job.
I think he did a great job. I think the movie was cool. I think it glossed over so many things, and it left out a lot of things.
It was not detailed at all.
I think the way that it ended kind of made no sense because of how it began. It didn't make sense like that, but I enjoyed the movie. But I think that Wozniak has said that the movie is basically nothing close to what actually happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was fine to sit down and watch.
Yeah.
Not saying it was done well, and not saying that it's factual at all. I enjoyed the nonfiction aspect of it.
Me too.
Sorry, and the fiction aspect of it.
And Ashton Kutcher, I mean, he got down his walk, he got down everything. Toward the end, or in the beginning, I should say, when it was more of a flashback, they had him looking exactly like Jobs. The turtleneck, the grayish hair, I mean, the makeup, everything. I was like, wow. Anyway, moving forward, so again, Adobe's got that going on. Now, there was that migration tool we talked about a couple weeks ago. You guys can check that out. I think that might have been Raw Talk 95 in the photo news section. And again, moving forward, a rare gold Supreme Hasselblad 503 CW medium format camera is up for sale on eBay for a cool $10,000. The 24-karat gold-plated camera is the last of the limited edition 500 run. It's actually marked number 500 of 500 and comes with an 80mm f2.8 lens, a gold A12 magazine, a gold UV filter, and all the original accessories. Now, the description says Hasselblad kept this final model of the limited run and gave it out as a 50th anniversary award, which must have been nice, whoever actually got that. And it's in mint condition, never used, so definitely a good buy, but $10,000 I would never, ever spend on something like that.
What's its PSA rating?
Its PSA rating?
Yeah, if you collect... baseball cards, PSA was a rated. Anyway,
I got nothing.
I would not buy this camera for $10,000 either, gold-plated. I mean, 10 grand doesn't even seem that much for a Hasselblad.
It's not that much. And it had some kind of maroon leather wrapping around it, too. It's mainly just gold-tipped for the most part. But
this love has taken control of me. She said goodbye too many times before. This heart is breaking in front of me because there haven't any time anymore.
How did you come up with that song?
Maroon.
But Maroon.
Maroon 5.
I was like, what?
You said Maroon.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, I said gold. I'm like, what is he singing Maroon 5
for? And if you can't handle me randomly singing things, go away.
Hey, at least I got some reverb on you now. The early episodes, when it was just cut and dry, it was a little rough. No offense.
I like it rough.
DJI
Six Flags T-shirt for El Toro.
DJI is back in the news this week. They announced a new pro-level drone. It's called the Spreading Wings S900. The hexacopter is capable of holding 5 kilograms or about 11 pounds.
Or it could fly in a lot of drugs because 5 kilos of coke is worth probably a lot of money.
But it only has a flight time of 18 minutes, so I mean, you'd probably just get it over the border and that's it.
But that's better than the flight time of 15 minutes that I believe it used to. One of the other
I think the
S800
or so. This is supposed to be right in between the S1000 and S800, obviously. So it also has a retractable landing gear, which is pretty cool. Carbon fiber arms, 15-inch propellers, and is capable of mounting almost any type of gimbal. Price-wise, it's available at $3,800.
Which isn't bad.
It's not bad.
I know
but
you said it was expensive.
you need to have some cash for that.
Yeah, but 38. But just think, if you're getting paid and you spend, you get the goggles and you get things like that to go with it, because our buddy Hing has one, and he said it paid itself off in 2 jobs.
Well, if you have jobs and that's like your actual thing going on, I mean, you do a lot of that kind of stuff, then yeah, it's well worth it. But this isn't something like a Phantom where it's something you just bust out every now and then and use.
Well, speaking of busting a Phantom out.
Are you busting a Phantom out?
That box that DHL brought all the way from China.
Oh, wow.
They sent me the DJI Phantom for the giveaway for the Wheel of Fro.
Oh, they sent it to you. I thought they were going to.
Oh, well, I was hoping that they would. Does it say DJI on that slip?
It does.
Yeah, so this is a Phantom to give away, and just put it down over there when you're done. Don't show the address. Nobody's going to be able to see it. But no, that
corporation doesn't matter.
I thought it was my address.
Oh,
but
it might have been your address. Actually.
That's what came in the mail. The DJI Phantom 2 Plus, I guess, that we're going to give away on the wheel. It's not on the wheel yet because the Canon printer is out of ink, and I have to replace a couple of cartridges.
But I think we'll bust it out next week, right?
Maybe next week, and then moving into the show in San Francisco.
Correct. What was I going to say? Oh, I actually used the Phantom 2 Plus that we got.
Yes.
And I used it at the Radio 104.5 Summer Block Party about a week or 2 ago. Do the video, and the gimbal is so smooth now compared to the original Phantom 2 that we had. It's incredible. And I still love the stills. The only thing is the video is pretty highly compressed. I might recommend the GoPro version over theirs.
What we need to do with our GoPro version is, 1,
set it up.
We need to get the goggles or a viewing screen for it. And 2, we need to mount the Ninja Star to it, the Atomos Ninja Star, so that we could do 4K. Well, we can't do 4K, but we could do the higher quality from
ProTune.
We could do ProTune and save it right to there. And I don't know if ProTune saves in ProRes. I don't really know how it works.
ProTune's just, I think, it's the higher
ProTune's
data
like
rate.
raw from them.
I don't know if it's raw, but it's just
it allows
not
you to tweak.
as
It's flat, and
compressed.
then basically it's unedited. It's kind of like ProTune. It's kind of like ProRes, I believe.
Okay.
You just bring it in and you can tweak it.
Okay.
Which looks great.
Yeah, I don't know much about ProTune.
The Ninjas are. I mean the DJIs are good, but the cameras, they do compress everything.
Yeah.
And this way the GoPro is going to be so much nicer, but the gimbals are smooth as hell.
But I will say I do love the stills that the original camera takes on the Phantom 2 Plus, and I did use the Lightroom 5 lens correction that they had for it, and it does straighten out a lot of the distortion that goes on. So I do recommend using that. Maybe tweak it a little bit manually, but not as much.
Donna distortion.
Speaking of drones, a tourist actually crashed one into Yellowstone's Grand Prismatic Hot Spring.
Asshole.
Officials say they're working on removing the drone, but it's not the easiest since the temperature of the spring is 160 degrees. Another reason why these things are getting banned everywhere because of people like this.
It's your fault, man. You're ruining it for the rest of us. Your drone capabilities have failed. You tried to land it in 160-degree water. Did you think that was a good idea? No. No. Now you ruined it for the rest of the people, and we'll never be able to fly our drones again in a national park.
So this is mind-blowing. Scientists at MIT, Microsoft, and Adobe have discovered a method to record audio by just seeing vibrations with a camera. They look
so like a dildo vibrating? Wonder what kind of music that plays. It's probably like, come on, skinny love will last forever.
No, it's basically...
Come on, sing some Bon Iver.
Holocene is one of my favorite songs of all time. I can't sing it.
Give me the lyrics.
I can't do his falsetto like that.
I can.
His lyrics make no sense because basically the way he described it in an interview is that he makes the lyrics after the music is written to just go along with the actual melody. So lyrically, they make almost no sense.
He doesn't actually sing. He just sits there and he goes, come on, skinny love, all last forever. More. It's like a plaintive wail.
But it's so good. It's so good.
It's not bad. It's good
I mean,
for
he's
girls.
featured on 2 of the songs on the Wish I Was Here soundtrack.
Yeah.
Which I love.
But if you're gonna be with a girl, it depends on the evening.
Oh,
Like
you
if
need
you're
to-
looking for a romantic night, or if you want to get down, you get fancy. I'm so fancy.
I
Do
don't
you
need it.
already know I'm in the fast lane from New York to Tokyo or London to Tokyo? That's what you want to.
What you want to bump when you're in the mood.
That's what you want to bop to when it's time.
Oh my god! Now the vibrations though with this, basically it works as like if you had your water there and you're shooting it with a high speed camera.
I got the good vibrations. Give it to me. Give it to me. It's not the sweet sensation. Give it to me. Back it up. Back it up. Yo, yo, yo. It's Donnie Wahlberg, who has a reality show called Wahlburgers.
Yeah, I actually, when I was writing vibrations, I was trying to think of another word to say because I knew you would specifically say that. Or there's another song, Vibrations, too, and I can't think of. I don't know. There was another song, too, I was thinking of as I'm writing. I'm like, he's going to sing one of those 2 songs. Guarantee it. Anyway, they look at the minute vibrations of video shot with a high-speed camera and were able to recreate both music and speech with nothing but visual information. The example video that they used shows them pointing the camera through soundproof glass at a potato chip bag, which captured the noise in the room, recreating speech. So basically, someone was talking in the room. It was bouncing
vibration
off
of the bag.
Exactly, bouncing off the potato chip bag, which they then recreated using the high-speed camera. It's crazy.
Were they ruffles? Were they rippled or not rippled?
It was upside down. I couldn't see the actual logo.
They weren't hers because hers is only on the East Coast.
So they said to do nothing like this. Basically, they said to do something like this normally requires a camera that has a faster frame rate than the frequency of the audio.
Whoa.
But they were able to still pull it off with even a DSLR at 60 frames per second. But the quality of that was much worse. It didn't recreate the vibrations as well. They even Shazam the music that the computer generated from the picture, and it recognized the song. I mean, that's how clear it was with the high-speed camera they used. It's mind-blowing, this stuff.
You want to know an interesting fun fact about the Beatles?
Fun fact, yes.
I was just looking at one of those bullshit 11 facts you didn't know about the Beatles on the internet the other day.
Snapple cap?
No. No. But it talked about how the Russians in Soviet Russia got the Beatles albums because they weren't allowed to have them.
Oh, really?
What they did is they had x-rays of the albums and then reversed the x-rays, and somehow they were able to etch that and play that on a record.
That's insane.
Because they showed the x-rays of the albums, and somehow they got it to play.
Wow. And that had to be, I guess, in the 60s, right?
Yeah, it had to sound really bad.
Yeah, it had to sound really bad. Now, the DSLR sounded really bad in this type, but like I said, the fast frame rate camera, it sounded really good.
Did
It's
Helen
Shazam.
Keller hear it?
Oh, my God. So a Spanish media outlet named Marca had a Photoshop fail this week after they made a stadium appear to have attendees wearing their hometown colors, or home country colors, I should say. A soccer game on U.S. soil in Michigan featuring Manchester United versus
Man, you!
Real Madrid took place, with the Spanish news source posting an aerial shot of the stadium showcasing it decked out with people wearing the red hue, pinkish colors of the Real Madrid's colors. Bleacher Report and Twitter users pointed out the difference between the same shot that was posted under Manchester United's Twitter account, which clearly shows a different color. Most of the attendees were wearing like a blue or just normal colors, but basically they made it out so that everyone looked like they were supporting Real Madrid's colors.
That's actually not really a Photoshop fail, in my opinion, because it was just like done really well.
That is true. I guess it was done really well, but they all talked about it being a Photoshop fail. Now, anyway, the Real Madrid ended up losing 3-1 in the end. So, I love these every week. I try and bring one of these up.
Wait. Did a bottle wash did a camera get washed
no
ashore?
camera washed ashore or found in the middle of the ocean just
Did
yet.
somebody piss on a film this week?
No peeing on film.
Nobody peed on
Or
film?
number 2 on film. None of that yet.
I think what they need to do next is use bull piss.
Bull piss.
But you have to milk the cow, the bull. You have to be holding the bull's penis as it pees on your film, because then it becomes like a spectator sport, because it's tough, because the bull's not going to like it.
That is disgusting.
I don't know. I just made it up off the top of my head.
You're a sick individual.
Very sick.
A new flowchart attempts to educate people on the rules of posting a photo that they found online.
Is it heavy or light?
What? I didn't get what you just said.
Flowchart.
Oh.
So immature. Sorry, women.
The infographic basically breaks down copyright, fair use, Creative Commons, public domain, the works. It's very simple and great to just show like employees that are responsible for posting content online, because this stuff, no one knows really the copyright and fair use. What?
Finish?
I was just going to say no one really knows the actual proper use of that kind of stuff. They don't know how to credit and...
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows the sorrow.
This is going to be a very long episode.
Do you know what movie that's from?
I don't remember.
Spaceballs.
Oh,
She's a Jewish princess.
I saw that once when I was like 12, and I probably shouldn't have seen it when I was 12. But.
We used to watch it on beta. My brother and I would rewind the beta tape the same time when they were combing the desert.
I don't even remember.
They're combing the desert with big combs through the desert. So they go, "Have you found anything?" And then the guy goes, "We ain't found shit." And my brother and I thought that was funny.
That's not that funny,
but we were like 8. I was like 7 years old, and he was like 9.5.
Yeah.
So we thought it was funny at the time. We used to rewind the beta tape.
Why were you watching it that young?
Because it was funny comedy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's more like mature comedy.
It was
for like adults.
Spaceballs was meant for the kids.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I gotta watch it again. It's been so long.
Good. Well, I just watched on PBS Online American Masters with the guy who wrote it. What the fuck's his name?
I don't know.
He did Springtime for Hitler and anyway, I don't know why I can't remember his name.
I got nothing.
Damn it.
Moving forward, we have photographer Marcus Di Cieno. He took tintypes of parasites. He combines microscopic imagery with wet plate photography and took portraits of the disgusting-looking parasites. He says, in quotes, "I started out with broad parameters. This is really about my personal childhood fear of parasites, so it should be human-born parasites or parasites that infect humans. And the second was whatever I could get my hands on," end quote. The parasites were already dead, preserved in alcohol when he got them. What he does is basically prints an image of them onto a transparency. He then uses his transparency as a positive image to expose the photograph onto a plate. Very cool stuff. It's very interesting to see. I mean, this stuff really hasn't been done yet. I wonder if Giles Clement does this kind of stuff.
At least he didn't pee on it.
At least he didn't pee on it.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks is so funny.
Yeah.
This American Masters, if you have iTunes, Apple TV or any way to watch the PBS American Masters, there's a couple that I've watched. Mel Brooks was funny as shit. Just listening to him, he's just a funny guy. Just unbelievable to watch. And then I watched the David Geffen one. That was inspiring to me.
Really?
What a hard-ass guy. But what he did, he started like 4 record companies and sold every one of them.
Is Geffen Records even around anymore?
I'm sure Geffen is
Doesn't
absorbed
Island
by somebody. He
yeah.
sold out.
I thought one of them now owns that.
He sold out for the equivalent of almost like $1 billion in the 90s. Then
Well,
he
sold
started
out at the right time.
Well, he did. He sold out in the 90s. He had Nirvana. He had everybody on that label. Guns N' Roses. It's so you should watch it because it's about music.
Yeah.
You should hear all the bands that he worked with, and they didn't have contracts. They had handshakes.
Wow.
You're free to go whenever you want. So
what is this called?
It's David Geffen. It's American Masters.
Okay.
On PBS. So freaking good. This Geffen one was so awesome because it's old. It's photography. It's not really photography, but it's music and images being captured and all this stuff. I totally loved it. He also started DreamWorks.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, with Katzenberg and Spielberg.
Well, I'm sure he's loaded off that.
He wrote that his profit from that would all be given to a nonprofit, a charity that he started.
Wow. Good for him.
Because he made enough money.
Sounds like a good man. You would love this too. A photographer stumbled upon an abandoned film school full of a ton of photography history and old school gear. The photo series features images of like old film reels, projectors, destroyed classrooms, just crumbling walls. It looks like the school was under working conditions in like the 80s and 90s because a lot of the film reels were dated then. With almost all the reels of film still intact, along with the chemicals. There's old Kodak chemicals like still leaking out and just crusted over and stuff like that. Really cool stuff.
Where is it?
It didn't say specifically, or at least I didn't read that part.
Because you think it's in the United States?
I think it was in the United States.
Wow.
I think it might have been in North Carolina, but I could be making that up. Because the guy who did this series also did a series of like abandoned trains in North Carolina.
Got it.
So it could be around that area as well. But this stuff fascinates me. I mean, I want to do that around Philly one day.
So you like urban exploring?
I love urban exploring, man. Just the historic factor of that kind of stuff.
Remember, did you see my 100-year-old factory photos?
Yes.
that is sort of like urban exploring because the factory was over 100 years old, but still in operation, and it was kind of empty when I was walking around doing my thing. I enjoyed that tremendously, but I'm not a fan of trespassing and breaking into things and being where I'm not supposed to be.
Well, I do. I think I prefer rather going into a building that hasn't been seen or used by humans in years and years and years.
How are you going to find that?
As in trespassing or
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that legally you can't really do, but it is very cool.
Well, Rebecca Litchfield, I'll mention that. She was supposed to come to dinner with us in New York, and I'm very pissed off at her because she canceled on us. And then she was out to dinner at Village Whiskey while I was in dinner in New York. That's 5 minutes from my house.
Interesting.
And I was really pissed off. But she has a book where she was inside of the former Soviet Union. It's called Russian Ghosts, I believe. And she has this book published. It's on Amazon. Her name's Rebecca Litchfield. She was on the Israel trip with us as well, and she loves urban exploring, going into these areas.
Yeah, I have a friend who does it, and I got to find out. He doesn't even tell us where he's going or like his locations. He keeps them all like hidden, so only he can find out where to, how to get to them and all that kind of stuff. But the places he goes, there's like these 100-year-old churches and these old abandoned factories and all that. It's all in Philly. That's why I want to meet up with him one day and just take a bunch of pictures.
We could do a 5-minute portrait.
5-minute portrait. There you go. So Wikimedia
with an urban explorer, because what people I've seen the latest the Giles one, which is awesome. It's kind of a different style of a 5-minute portrait because it's more of me talking to a photographer, which is awesome. I love it.
It's very cool.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it turned out really, really well. And that'll be probably released in the next few weeks. I don't know. We'll find out. So Wikimedia is standing up for a monkey photographer who took a self-portrait with photographer David Slater's camera back in 2011. The sister site to Wikipedia has the image up, refusing to remove it from its Commons library, saying since Slater didn't technically take the photo, he doesn't own the copyright. Yes, basically, because it's in the public domain, he does want to take it away. Here's what Slater says about the issue in quotes. If the monkey took it, it owns copyright, not me. That's their basic argument. What they don't realize is that it needs a court to decide that. He also went on to tell the Telegraph in quotes, I've told them it's not public domain. They've got no right to say that it's public domain. A monkey pressed the button, but I did all the setting up, end quotes. So he's preparing for legal action and will be taking this to court.
Yeah, that's one of those interesting things. It's like you hand somebody your camera.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they own the picture? But you set it with your
But it's your camera.
But it's your camera.
Gear,
you
blah,
gave
blah,
it to
blah.
them. You set it up. Who owns it? Just like when you hand a wedding, like you have a second shooter and you hand them all the camera gear to shoot, you own all the images. They took them, but they're working for you.
That's a good way to put it.
So, yeah. It's a pretty cool picture, though.
It is a really cool picture.
I posted it. If you guys...
And he lost a ton of money, too, on trying to license this thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because everyone uses it.
Oh,
this
I didn't
image
realize.
is because it's considered public domain, so...
I don't think it is. I don't think it's public domain.
I don't either, but that's what their argument is.
So there's this cool gorilla video that I put up on my personal Facebook page, because occasionally I just share some stuff over there that... Basically, this guy raised this gorilla for 5 years.
Oh, I saw that video, but I saw it a couple years ago. It's not new, right?
I don't know if it was new.
Yeah, I think.
But where he went back into the jungle to find him.
Yeah,
yeah. So basically, he goes back, and the thing's now 10, and this gorilla has attacked 2 other humans because it just didn't want to be around humans. And then he is calling for the gorilla just from the boat, and then they see it, and then they go over to the shore, and he sits down, and the gorilla just embraces him and basically starts talking with him, and they start sharing food, and he introduces his family of 3 wives and kids and
it's
stuff like that.
Real life Planet of the Apes.
It was
man.
like real life Planet of the Apes,
That's
and he
insane.
didn't want him to go. He followed the boat all the way back. He was very upset that he had to leave.
Yeah, I did see that video because I
Holy
remember
God.
seeing him running along the shoreline as he's going away.
That's just
it's heartbreaking. That stuff.
Well, it's not. It's awesome.
It is, but at the same time, it's sad to.
It is. But But it just shows you. There's those people that will tell you that apes, that animals don't know what's going on. That animals don't understand. I mean, they're so like dogs. I was watching a thing about dogs where if the human leaves the room, when they're reunited, it was the same as what happened when an infant was reunited with their mother.
Wow.
The same stuff would happen. There's where they go to their back. I need to run over to them to be secure again. I mean, animals are unbelievable.
Or
especially
it's like my
those.
dog when I come home and he just sits there.
It's like whatever.
Still like
dude.
sleeping. Oh,
Whatever,
you're home
dude.
again? Okay. Let's see, we have, this is pretty incredible. A wedding party featuring Jeff Goldblum are shown running from a giant T-Rex in a new set of wedding formals. So basically they're mimicking his role in Jurassic Park. The actor showed up to a wedding who his fiancée is friends with, and the photographer, Adam Beisenthal, he came up with the idea, obviously based on the film. Researchers, that's that story. It's basically pretty cool. It's showing them again running from a T-Rex.
They're not the first one to do that.
Yeah, but
it has Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, that's what makes the shot.
That's cool.
You know, it's not just some average wedding couple running. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University.
But hold on. The
What's
newest craze, I've heard of the newest craze in wedding photography, is that you take a portrait with a wet plate of a bride and groom, and then to develop it, they both piss on it together. And that way, it develops it with the ammonia mixed with the developer, but it's going to secrete the urine is going to get into the metal so it lasts forever.
Oh, just perfect.
That's the union.
Oh, that'll be great.
You thought I was going to a real place with that?
I was like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a new thing. I'm copywriting it. Papa Squat.
So again, researchers at Carnegie Mellon University, they developed a method to transform a normal 2D object in a photograph into a 3D model that will actually let you move it around, even showing parts of the object that weren't captured. The technique uses readily available 3D models online to convert day-to-day objects in a photo from 2 to 3 dimensions. You can then manipulate the object, even if it shows parts of it that weren't originally visible again in the photograph, while the software maintains plausible shadows and illumination.
What about the 4th dimension?
The 4th dimension, I don't think they figured that part out yet.
Do you know the 4th dimension?
The touching part?
Oh shit, it's the 5th dimension.
What's the 5th dimension?
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius, happiness and revelation. Aquarius, Aquarius. Did you?
The one episode that Sutter's not here and you sing like 8 times, and I have no
5 minutes
times telling me when you sang. I'm going to have to listen to this thing like 8 times to actually figure out when you sang and add all the effects and posts.
I love the 5th dimension. And I never knew they were all black. I didn't know this until I saw a video.
Well, that's how it was then.
And it's not a bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just you know, the mamas and the plappas, they were white, and then you got the 5th dimension. It was just so cool because you can't tell who's black and who's white sometimes when they sing.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I called my dad and I go, nobody ever told me the 5th dimension was black. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, it's the same thing when you don't realize it's like a girl singing when it's actually, or you think it's a girl and it's actually a guy, or it's a guy and you think it's a girl.
Oh, like
I'm trying to think
I've
of
got
an example.
a fast car.
Oh yeah,
Chapman, right?
Tracy Chapman.
I'm like, that guy is awesome.
I thought she was a guy. Yeah,
that thing is awesome.
And I love that car.
I mean,
that song.
I got a fast
That song is
car.
so good, dude.
Do you know?
I haven't heard that in a while.
All right, keep going. Stop interrupting.
Let's see. But that's just, you really got to check this video out. Really amazing stuff. It's really hard to explain, so just watch it. It's on the Photo News page.
Fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-98 is where you can find all of these photo news stories and more.
And another infographic that's specific to the wedding photography community. A wedding photographer named Francesco Spighi uses the analogy of the iceberg and the Titanic to visualize the cost of wedding photography. He describes the cost of equipment, including everything from lenses and bodies to printers and computers, and also breaks down just the overall experience. The thing I like about this is that it could pretty much apply to any type of photography business, not just weddings. So check this out. It kind of just goes over everything you need to properly, have a business in photography.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it tells you, you think it's just a camera and lens, and then it shows you the actual iceberg part where it's everything else too. Iceberg. 2 more stories. There's a new way to clean your sensor. This is pretty...
Edmund Fitzgerald.
Huh?
The story of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I got nothing.
It's a song about the Edmund Fitzgerald. You said iceberg, and I thought Titanic, and then I was trying to think of a song that related to a boat, and one would be the Edmund Fitzgerald, which is the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
How do you know this stuff?
I just random shit.
Facts,
my
man.
brain. It's how
like
I do association.
We talk about boats, and somehow this thing comes up.
Boats and hoes.
Yeah.
But no, so the way that my brain works is it associates a word with something, but then it can jump different ways to get to whatever that is. Like you said iceberg. So
Yeah.
I thought of Titanic. What could I sing? Well, I could have sang My Heart Will Go On, but I went to, well, what's another boat song? And that was the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I'm sure everybody knows that song.
Everybody knows it's Gordon Lightfoot, I think.
I don't know that song.
I'll play it later. Because it's like a 14-minute song, and these ships get lost
Yeah.
in a storm.
Okay.
It's like a movie. It's like Perfect Storm.
Okay.
Except they weren't crab boat fishers. They were on like the Lake Michigan or one of those lakes.
Marky Mark's in, isn't he?
He's in that movie.
Yeah.
He's really, yeah, I love him. He's got a show called Wahlburgers. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I heard. Was it you telling me that they showed up at a food truck in New York or something?
Somebody was telling me they're opening a Wahlburgers in Philly.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a new way to clean your sensor. A Japanese manufacturer released a lens that mimics a Canon L lens, which has a small vacuum cleaner inside it. The lens lookalike,
Does it suck or blow?
it sucks. The lens lookalike is 3,500 yen or $35 US dollars, and is only available in Canon mounts. It has a filter of some sort, probably like a HEPA filter or something. It's meant to suck out any dust on your sensor. I don't know if I would trust something like this, especially for like $34. Who knows? What are you laughing at?
I got a
Does it
visual.
suck?
No, I got a different visual. It was bad. It was like,
It's an interesting concept, but I don't think I would actually trust
right.
it.
I would not be using this thing because a lot of the times it's not
On your D4S.
right. I don't think it's going to suck the dust off of it very well.
No. I have a feeling it's just going to like blow stuff back.
And for $35, I'm not going to put that on my lens.
No, I agree. Maybe like a Rebel or something to test it out, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't, jeopardize a $6,000 body. And lastly, we have the Nikon class action suit that began in February regarding the D600 sensor issue has kind of been resolved.
Well,
it's been reported that it's been resolved.
It's reporting. I'm on the line with my Nikon guy because he said give him an hour. We're trying to get the information to verify this or not.
Okay, so
Keep going.
We don't necessarily know if it's official, but it is being reported that it is. Now, users of the D600 participating in the suit can get their cameras replaced with free D610s via a few simple steps that they have to complete before November 30th. The steps, I think, are something like you have to fill out a little form online, send out the actual D600 back, signing something that's saying that you won't tell anyone about this. It's
Which is
confidential and blah, blah, blah.
Basically what you're doing is if you were part of the class action lawsuit that was going on, I think you had to be a part of that early. I don't know if it applies.
says you had to be, but it didn't really say specifically if you did.
Right. So it was on Petapixel. Now, I haven't been able to verify this from Nikon myself. I reached out to them this morning. I reached out to them right now because they told me to give them some time. They haven't verified whether this is legitimately happening or not. So I don't know whether to call this shenanigans at the time of this recording or what. But what leaves me and gives me pause. Well, Petapixel has to be more careful now since that other story that was a fake.
Yes.
With the hoax. But this person, what gives me pause is the fact that the person that shared this didn't sign it and isn't replacing their D600. Who in their right mind wouldn't be replacing their D600 with a D610 when it's a year or two newer? You might as well take the newer camera. Who wouldn't do that? So that's what gives me pause with this story. You're signing this confidentiality report. Maybe this person made this up and said that they're not doing it. But if you had a D600 and they offered you a D610 free replacement, would you be doing it?
Yeah, I definitely would.
So that's what I have to say.
Maybe they
about
wanted
that.
to get the scoop. They wanted to leak.
So I don't
the
know if this
news.
is verified or not. If I get I'll probably get verification from Nikon one way or another today, but I'm going to still be very hesitant on this one, and we'll report on it at another time. But something gives me pause with this story.
Yeah, by the time Photo News goes up on the website, we'll probably officially know if it is legit or not. And that's it for Photo News this week. So yeah, a lot of news stories.
Yeah, and I talked a lot.
You sang a lot.
I sang a lot. Good stuff. All right, let's get into Gear of the Week, and then we get into the rapid fire questions.
Yes, I'm excited for them.
So I get a lot of emails from companies trying to send me stuff. This week or last week, a bunch of companies, 2 of them in particular, wanted to send me stuff. One of them is called the Nasty Clamp. Why? Because it probably looks like a dildo or a sex toy or something. I don't know where this part goes, and I definitely don't know where this part goes. But basically, it's an A clamp with a penis on it, and it depends on which way you like the curve.
Oh,
Do you want it up, it's down, it's a little to the left, it's a little to the right? That's probably why they're called nasty clamps, but that's good marketing and branding, so that can give you something to think about. We could use this for putting a GoPro somewhere because it has the screw mount up here. I can just literally screw the GoPro to this because we have that mount. But it also has these cold shoes that can go up. Yes, these are cold shoes, so you can attach a flash to it and put the nasty clamp anywhere.
That's what I would use it for, is flashes.
Right, and this thing just basically does what you need it to do. And it comes in different sizes, and they're not an advertiser, they're not a sponsor. They just said, "Do you want to check this thing out?" And I said, "Sure." So we could use these for anything we want. We'll take it to San Francisco with us.
And it does come with like extenders, right? For
I haven't figured out that extender. Like if this,
it looks like
maybe the balls pop off. Anyway, nasty clamps.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is I bought a bunch of Gorilla Pods just for flashes to fire them off really anywhere and hang them from wherever. But I had to buy everything separate, the cold shoes, the accessories, all that kind of stuff to actually make it work with the flash and to mount the flash properly. The nice thing about these is it kind of comes with everything. So it's kind of your one-stop shop for that.
Yeah, so that's a nasty clamp. You can check it out. Let me know if you guys have any. I now have some. We'll have to try them out, but that's it. The second gear of the week was from this company called KB Slims. No. KB Skins. It's basically...
Are they condoms for
they're
the
not
nasty?
condoms for your nasty clamps. They're KB is keyboard.
Keyboard.
Stands for keyboard is what I come up with. So
Not
basically,
KB Toys?
what they make... Hold on. I'm dropping nasty clamps. They make these, if you're watching at home, this one is the Adobe Lightroom keyboard cover for Apple notebooks and desktop computers. This goes on your Apple computer, and it basically has all of the shortcuts
Cool.
printed, which is good. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I put this one on my print, this is the Lightroom one, I put this one on my computer. It's not as easy to type on, but what you have to understand is that when you're in Lightroom, you're not sitting there typing on the keyboard.
Yeah.
It's not meant for that. You're going to hit keys. It's really awesome. Take a look at that.
See, I would probably actually use it as just more like an educational reference.
Until you learn where everything is.
Until you learn where the shortcuts are, and then you could just be like Adam Lerner and just be like bam, 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 and know every single shortcut of Lightroom.
Look at this one. This one is the...
It's pretty cool, though. I mean...
Adobe... This is a
literally gives you
Photoshop.
everything.
This is Photoshop keyboard cover.
Oh, wow. I like the colors.
Well, yeah, and they have that... I'm going to get you one for Premiere.
Yeah, I would like that, because I don't know much about... I'm not a shortcut person, to be honest.
But they will help.
But it will help, I'm sure. I just don't probably know that there are shortcuts for certain things.
They also make regular, just clear ones or black one to go on any of your laptop. Apple products, the laptops are not, just to protect. I don't think that I want to use this when it comes to typing all the time. But when I'm in the program, I can see putting that thing on.
Well,
I just didn't like typing on it.
Yeah, and it looks like it's quick to remove. You can just be like, bam, bam.
Just pull it off condom skin and you're done.
Now, I wonder does that like glow in the dark or anything? I wonder if the logos or the letters and...
Well, with the Apple, with the keyboards, they have lights, LEDs in the keyboard.
Well, I'm thinking of like PC or something like that.
I don't think you can use these on PC keyboards.
Oh, they don't make any PC skins at all?
I did not see it, but you can go to their site. Just Google KB skins.
Okay.
So they sent me that stuff to try out, so that's what I did.
Cool.
We're going to do rapid fires, but we should probably... We're at 16 minutes and 20 seconds.
I'll reset the cameras
Well, you
real
reset
quick.
that one. I'll reset this one.
Okay.
And then we'll get going. Okay, so the cameras are reset. Another reason why we love that we don't have to reset the main angles, because the Atomos is continually running for us. So we've done a lot of... We got to do Wheel of Fro also, but we've done a lot of flying solos for the past couple of weeks because we haven't had a lot of guests. We're lining that stuff up for the future and to travel and all of that good stuff. So I want to do something different, and we've got the rapid fire questions, and Steven reads them to me, and I rapidly fire answer them as best as possible.
Am I saying the name too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say, or do you want me to say the name? No, you say the name.
I can say the name. Michael Scott Brulo.
Brulo!
Number 1, Lady Gaga or Ken Rockwell?
Lady Gaga.
Green Day or Ken Rockwell?
Oh, shit. Ken Rockwell.
These are all about him. Taylor Swift or Ken Rockwell?
Taylor Swift.
New
But
Jer-
I don't know. I may get bored. She's probably... Anyway, I'm not going to say that just in case I meet her.
New Jersey Beaches or Ken Rockwell?
New Jersey Beaches.
A Day with Sutter building his girl a vanity chest from scratch, or Ken Rockwell?
I mean, I think I'd have a better time with Ken Rockwell opposed to building a vanity chest. I mean, Jesus, criminy crappity, man.
Only Sutter. Thomas J.F. Mottel, Boston or Rio Speedwagon? REO
That's
Speedwagon.
REO Speedwagon.
I mean,
Carry on my wayward son. Is that one of those bands?
no, isn't that Leonard? No, it's not.
No.
Wayward Son.
No.
I forget which band.
Don't you cry no more. Boom, boom, boom. I think that's REO Speedwagon. I'm not a fan of either.
Shooting Eagles game or Phillies game? That's a tough question.
I think you're going to see football is one of the hardest sports to shoot because you don't know where a lot of stuff's going to happen. With baseball, you know where it's going to happen around the mound and around the batter's box, but you also don't have a chance to get somebody diving and catching a ball. So I'm not really I've never shot an Eagles game. I think I'd like to attempt to shoot an Eagles game and shoot it a certain way using a big-ass piece of glass shooting across the field, trying to get that action.
That was, by the way, Kansas who sings Carry On Wayward Son.
Oh.
Because I know if I didn't answer that just now, we're going to get 50 comments on YouTube saying, you idiots don't know that, blah, blah, blah.
So we have dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Same old tongue.
Now, for that game, 70 to 200 and a 2 times teleconverter, or 200 to 400.
200 to 400, easy.
Yeah,
hands
for
down.
sure. Using a 70 to 200 monopod or Black Rapid strap.
Black Rapid strap. Don't use a monopod for anything below a 300 2.8.
Explore the world, a la Mark Wallace, or never leave Philly.
I think we're doing a good job exploring the world.
Yeah, I don't know why that was even a question. Andreas Zivart. Do you like the development YouTube is going through regarding it's all about the money?
Well, that's what YouTube is. I mean, YouTube's a business. No, I'm not saying that from my standpoint. I'm saying that from Google's standpoint, is they bought YouTube to be a business, and it brings in a ton of money. You got to look. I do a ton of research into online video and marketing and advertising dollars. People are making more money in terms of businesses like NBC. They get a higher rate online for ads now than they do on TV shows, generally speaking. So you're seeing a transition. I don't mind the direction YouTube's going. It's just I don't know where the world is going when it comes to YouTube and videos off of YouTube, because Maker and Fullscreen and all these other companies and Vivo, they're all building off YouTube platforms, but YouTube is still a strong, the biggest place to get an audience.
So a lot of these are just questions, not really rapid fire questions. You still
Yeah,
well,
go for them.
The next few people, it looks like. Are you sometimes afraid your fame, quote unquote,
well,
could
it's meant to be rapid firely answered.
Okay. Are you sometimes afraid your fame could be gone from one day to the next?
I don't really have fame anyway, so
Do you think?
I just try to work hard.
Do you think video will be becoming bigger than photography, and every photographer has to learn videography?
Yeah, I think everybody needs to learn videography. I think it goes hand in hand. There's a time and place for both.
Your best funny movie ever?
I can't think of that off the rapid fire
tough
top
one.
of my head, but there's some funny ones.
And number 5, boobs or ass?
I'm a butt guy. I love butts.
Oh, God.
I like butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a little bitty round thing in your face, you get sprung. Want to pull off touch because you know that Jesus popping. Ooh, something. I like big. Okay, keep going.
Marco Preekshat. Hey, Jared and Steven. I know, Jared, you like Bob Ross, so here are my special BR rapid fires flying solo questions. Number 1, is your hair inspired by Bob Ross?
No.
Number 2, would you be cool with it if someone calls you Bob Ross of photography?
Yes, I've been called that many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we've said that a billion times. Number 3, Bob Ross Incorporated is using so-called CRIs, certified Ross instructors. Do you maybe think about using CFIs, certified Fro instructors, in the future?
I don't think it's legal. I'd have to find the legal ramifications about giving out certificates of accomplishment.
That is true. And will there be a special Bob Ross I Shoot Raw shirt one day? That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
That's
I
a good
may
idea.
come up with something.
Number 5, non-Bob Ross question. I see what you mean about reading these things, by the way. Why the heck are you and Steven not coming to Berlin?
Because that's the other side of Germany.
And he said you guys are going to be in good old Germany for Photokina anyway. Thanks for everything, Marco. Tom Robertson. Number 1, summer or winter?
I prefer summer.
I'm a spring guy personally.
Well, but between the two
yeah,
of them.
between the two. 2, fruit or vegetable?
Fruit.
Veggie table.
But I like fruits. What's a carrot?
That's a vegetable, isn't it?
right?
Yeah.
I like fruit though, because I love my watermelon.
3, vanilla or chocolate?
Well, I used to like vanilla ice cream, but I don't eat a lot of ice cream. As of late, I think chocolate has a nice flavor for ice cream. But also, when it comes to pudding, I've always liked vanilla pudding.
4, sweet or sour? Not sweet and sour.
I'd rather have it spicy, I guess.
5, night or day?
Blah. I don't care.
He put bonus only because I'm an operating engineer. Cat or John Deere?
But I think Caterpillar makes those awesome toys. So
Yeah,
maybe
Caterpillar is
well, I guess
huge when it
John
comes
Deere
to
makes
that
some
stuff.
awesome toys as well.
Yeah. They make more, it looks like, the consumer toys versus
Yeah,
Caterpillar.
but they also have the big ass.
Do they have the big guys too?
Well, the big turbine combines that they take out into the cornfields that drive themselves
you're
via
right.
GPS and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
Maybe we need to go to the John Deere factory and do a photo shoot.
That would be interesting. Dunstan Vavosauer. Number 1, what is your favorite film when you use it?
When I used it,
When you use it, what is your favorite film?
I liked Kodak NPC, which was vibrant, or VC, vibrant contrast. I love the VC
makes sense.
film, and it was vibrant. And when it came to shooting Fuji, I shot Fuji Press 800.
Okay.
I used more Fuji than anything, but when I wanted it to be punchy, that VC stuff was unbelievably punchy.
Number 2, have you ever developed your own film?
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 3, is using film today pointless, or does it have a look you can't get on digital?
It does have a certain look. When I go back and look at, when you scan a negative, you're picking up that actual grain, which somehow reflects really well when you're scanning and really makes a thick, three-dimensional type image.
Is using... Did I just say that? Is using film today pointless, or does it
Yeah.
have a look you can't... Yeah. 4, scan negatives or make wet prints?
Oh, I love making wet prints. They're just so much fun to do, but scanning is so much easier.
Number 5, would you work differently if it costs £1 per picture or for film and processing?
No, I'm a very selective shooter. Yes. The answer is yes. You'd have to be a more selective shooter, so yes.
Andy Lang. Number 1, study or learn on the job?
Learn on the job.
Yeah, I think that's a lot better too. I'm a learn on the job kind of guy. I need to be hands-on. Number 2, travel with all your gear, or take the minimum and force yourself out of your comfort zone.
I travel with the Hebrew Trinity most of the time, but if I needed to travel light, then I would only take what's necessarily needed and just get out of my comfort zone.
I guess speaking of that, if you could take one lens or body for a general job, what would you take?
I mean, obviously it depends on the job, but I think the most versatile lens on the Nikon side is probably the 24-70,
And Canon side.
or
Actually, no, 24
maybe
to
even a
105.
24-120
Yeah,
f4. I mean, that's going to give you real versatility.
yeah. What is the highest you would push ISO before it was not usable? Now we're talking about the D4S here.
Probably 25,800 is what you could. 25,600 is probably about it, which is asinine.
So if you were shooting, say, a D3300, what would you do?
D3300, we've seen 6400 actually works, but probably more in the 3200 range.
Yeah, I agree. Number 5, how the hell can I get one of those luggage tags in the UK?
We're probably going to start giving them during the holidays. If you make a purchase, we'll probably include one in it.
We got one more. Do we know who's spinning the wheel yet, by the way? Or should I keep going?
Well, what's left?
We've got 4 more questions.
And I don't know if
4
we're
more
doing that
people.
last question. Let's see who we got here, and then I'll go back.
Okay. Adam Peel, or Pell, better board game, Monopoly or Payday?
I never played Payday, so I love
Yeah, me either.
Monopoly.
Monopoly, dude, I could play that forever. Except it was always hard to get people to play because it was like an all-day game.
Well, it's because it takes a while, and people don't, they were too busy playing Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. Snickers or Twix?
I love Twix and Kit Kats.
That's tough. Denny's or IHOP?
Well, Denny's is racist, and I would prefer IHOP's hash browns.
Which do you
But
feel,
I would go to Waffle House.
which do you feel you are, left or right brain? I forget which is
right.
which.
Well, I'm left-handed, which means I'm more right-brained, right? Are you more artistic when you're right-brained?
I have no idea.
Whichever brained is more artistic and creative.
Maverick or Iceman?
Oh, that's do you know what that's from?
Yeah. From Top Gun.
Top Gun. I'm gonna go with Maverick.
And can Eckert be your wingman anytime? I can be Goose,
You could be Goose.
but I don't want to die. That's the only thing.
What's this guy's name?
Adam Pell or Peel? Probably Pell.
You want to give him a spin, or
Sure,
is there
why not?
are there better questions?
Do you want to go over some more, or let me see? Do you focus on?
Let's just give him a spin.
Yeah, let's give him a spin. I like those ones.
All right, let's give him a
Random
spin.
and fun.
All right, so here we got the Wheel of Fro coming up. Being that Sutter isn't around, we are going to spin it ourselves. And speaking of the DJI Phantom, I still have to print the thing because it hasn't been printed yet. There, that should be better up there, right?
Let's do right there.
Somewhere around there. I am going to add that next week because I'm getting the printer set up. When one ink cartridge is bad, meaning I've had the printer for a long time, so when you reset it, it sucks ink basically through it and wastes it. So I'll get that printed later and get it onto the wheel for the next time because we now have the DJI Phantom in the box. Not to keep, Steven, not to have drone wars with.
Damn it.
But to actually give away if somebody ever wins it. In the meantime, maybe we could play with it. So what do we have on the wheel? We've got Fro prizes. We got the Black Rapid strap. And let me just tell you that Black Rapid is the reason that we are able to travel to Poland and Germany. They're the sponsor. They're sponsoring the trip. And I'm sure Squarespace has something to do with it, but Black Rapid is the main reason why. And I'll be at their booth on Tuesday and Wednesday. First day of the show is Tuesday. Second day is Wednesday for half an hour on each day. But you'll be able to find us walking around. And I'm going to try to do a raw talk from the floor or something from the floor.
And we'll be probably doing man on the street stuff.
Definitely, man. So if you see us, we're going to ask you some questions,
Yeah,
and
be
we're going to be
prepared.
doing that. Yeah, so be prepared for some weird stuff. So thank you to Black Rapid for doing that. Fro Price, Think Tank. Going to thank Think Tank for hooking us up out there in San Francisco at their office. Rode Microphones, big thanks to them for being a main sponsor of Raw Talk to keep this thing free and also to use these awesome sounding microphones, which makes our podcast one reason why our podcast sounds great. Now, I will tell you this. Just because you have the best microphones in the world, which I'm not saying that these are the best in the world, but they are $500 and they are damn good for what we use them for. It's just like with photography. If you don't know how to post-process your images, it doesn't matter if you shoot them with a D4S and the best glass in the world. If you don't know what you're doing audio-wise, which I don't know what I'm doing, but Steven does, it's maybe time for Steven to start a super secret project, audio engineering for dummies.
I'm game.
So we'll get that going if you come with
I would
me.
love to do a screen flow of just the I guess the process of how I record the audio.
Well, you're
how
going to
I
have a laptop to do
post-process,
that.
yeah.
So we're going to get that hooked up when that laptop
all the
comes in.
compression I use and everything.
We'll come up with your own videos.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
We'll do that so that you can start formulating that. Rode, thank you very much. Fro Prize, Adorama Picks. I'm working on getting them to give me more credits. No,
Okay.
to give more stuff to discounts. I want to give more discounts. They called me yesterday, and we still need to go up there before the end of the year to make to basically do a Cribs style edition at their store.
They're okay with that, right? Didn't we already
They
go over
want
that?
me to do it.
They do.
Yeah.
So when are we going to go?
Whenever Moishi is there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's Moishi. It's Herman, really, but still.
I don't know.
There's always a Moishi. No, we're going to go when you have time. I'm also trying to get MakerBot on again to get them to do an interview.
Very cool.
So we got that. We got Borrow Lenses, $250. I know this is taking a while, but if it lands on Adorama Picks, we'll figure out what it is later. Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/fro to get your 14-day free trial. And also, just to give some people in the New York area a heads up, during Photo Plus, we will be going to Squarespace's office, and I believe they can fit about 100 people there to do a mobile Raw Talk.
Nice.
We'll have more information on that in the future, but they are holding one at their place during Photo Plus. It's probably going to be in the evening on one of the days during the show. So we got that. Lexar is getting rid of. So if it lands on Lexar, I'm not giving it to you. We'll give you something else. Fro Prize ? Which is where the that's actually Lexar is where the DJI is going to go, and the rest we've already talked about. Time to spin. Who's
Time
the
to
guy?
spin. It is Adam Pell or Peel, P-E-H-L.
All right, can you do the Sutter part?
Oh yeah. Wheel of Fro.
It's all about getting the finger right in the place where it needs to go. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Where is the Wheel of Fro going to stop today? It's going to stop on It didn't click. So it's Adorama Picks.
Yeah, it's Adorama Picks. It was close.
It didn't click.
Almost borrow
It was
lenses.
almost borrow lenses. So congratulations, Aaron Peel.
Yeah, Adam.
Adam Peel. All right, peel this off the table, please. And it's at 16 minutes, so you might as well reset while you're there. So Adam Peel? Yes. Adam Peel, not Aaron, it's his brother. Adam Peel is going to get some Adorama Picks credit or a free photo book or some aluminized print, but I will hook you up with that, and that's that. So if you guys are looking to get Adorama Picks prints done, I love the metal ones, check them out on their website. And when I get you a code, if we have a code, he's going to give me a code, I think, this week, but I'm going to post it in the photo news section if we do that. How many more rapid fire questions are there?
We got 2 more, and you said maybe not the last one?
Yeah, well, I'll decide when I get there.
Joe Veiling, number 1, do you focus and recompose or move the focus point around?
So it depends on the situation.
I
A lot
agree.
of the times I'm moving the majority of the times I'm moving the focus points around.
Me too. Unless my subject is static.
Unless they're static, then I focus and recompose. But most of the time it's moving around and choosing between 51 different points.
That's insane. And they're probably all cross type too, right?
No, there's only 21 cross type, I believe.
In the D4S?
Something like that.
2.
Oh, do you know what's crazy?
What?
Remember that thing on my nail, that black thing?
No, but what is it?
I haven't figured out what it is. I don't know. It's been there for weeks. I don't think it's under, but it's actually growing. You know how it's
It's on the white part, I guess, right?
No, it's on the nail because it started in the middle of my finger.
Interesting.
So it's been growing and growing until it's going to be gone. I don't know what it is. Maybe I got something under it and drew on it.
I don't know.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. 2, spot, area, or matrix metering mode.
Matrix metering mode is what I leave it on all the time. I'm playing with my nail.
Because you don't even go by the meter half the time, right?
So let me get this straight for people out there. A lot of times they see it, they're like, you don't even use the meter. I tell you I don't really use the meter, but I'm always looking at what it's doing.
Yeah, I am too.
A lot of times when you're shooting in bright light, it's going to be thrown off, and your subject, you just have to get a feel for it. So I glance at my meter. I make decisions based off of that. Of course, if it's right in the middle, I know that, well, my exposure is probably right if the lighting is even. But if it's not even and it says 2,000, I know it's, basically I use the meter, I leave it set to matrix, but it's more of a glance thing, and it's a feel for the situation that I'm in.
Yeah.
It's just a feel that you get after years and years of doing it.
Well, I was shooting an outdoor venue, for example, last week, and it was during the daylight. So basically, when I'm metering for under the tent area, it's all pitch black pretty much for the most part. It's going to meter for gray, and I know that going in. So luckily, I don't really use it. I just use it as just I'm still looking at it, but yeah, if you're going to use it, it's going to be gray. So.
Yep.
3, do you adjust settings in third stop, half stops, or half stops, or full stops?
It's always third stops.
Yeah, I do third stops too.
I always do that. Third stops increments, 3,200 ISO to 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,400. I like the third stops, and I just tweak I like the third stops when I'm tweaking my shutter speeds as well.
Me too. Now, the Rebels and stuff like that, the more intro
D3300, they don't
have half stops
usually.
Yeah.
Or full stops.
Or full stops.
The ISOs are full stops.
Yeah.
But I think Canon lets you have the middle ones. Nikon doesn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can still do half stops. If having to choose an auto mode, would it be shutter, aperture, or ISO? Or priority
It would
mode,
be
I guess.
aperture.
Yeah.
It would always be aperture.
Number 5, if selecting your first universal piece of camera gear, what would it be? Tripod, monopod, strap, or bag?
First well, I think a bag out of all of those would be really important to have because you need to get your gear around.
Well, I think it depends what you're shooting. I mean, if you're a landscape photographer, you might want to do a tripod.
Sure.
Marco da Costa, quality photos versus instant gratification snapshots. How to compete?
I'm all about quality photos.
How to compete?
Yeah, I'm all about quality photos.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Number 2, should my work speak for itself or should I define it?
So it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. When you're handing somebody your portfolio, you let the work speak for itself unless they have questions. That's a mistake that many people make is when somebody's looking at the portfolio, you're sitting there explaining everything. Don't say a word until they ask you a question about a photo and ask for more detail. But you need to tell the story. Like this is what Froknow's Photo is all about. That's what I've built here is I've told you about my work. So I've sold myself.
Do portfolios still do the job?
Absolutely. Portfolios are extremely important.
Niche markets or all-around solid shooter?
Well, I mean, being an all-around solid shooter is important, but I think that if you are a a master of many things, you're a master of nothing. So you want to master some niche product first.
That's true. Simpsons or Family Guy?
In the old days, it would have been The Simpsons. I just think The Family Guy has grown up from what The Simpsons are into the more witty, funny, dirty, raunchy show.
It should have been South Park or Family Guy.
That
That would have been a better comparison. I'd go with South Park.
Screw you, Kyle.
And then, yeah, that's it for the rapid fire
That's it for
questions.
the rapid fire questions. And the last question on here is Craig Greenslade, or Lade, Greenslade. No, Greenslade. I've just lost my job and have 3 months to become a pro. What would you do if you had 3 months to start from scratch? Again, you don't just become a pro. Yes, sucks. You lost your job. That's not good. You got to figure out what you can do. If you are a photographer and you have skills, I don't care if you make money, or I don't care. The moral here is that you don't have 3 months. Start today. Just do it. Just go out and shoot. And if you make money at it, awesome. But if you need money, then find that part-time gig and get that, because it's like not a 3-month thing unless you have skills already and you put yourself out there and you're looking for photo jobs. But this, I have 3 months to go pro thing is, again, I don't buy into the I'm going pro. I'm either a photographer or I'm not. And I make some money. I don't make some money. Doesn't matter. Don't get lost in the minutia of am I a pro or am I not a pro. I just, it sucks you lost your job. You obviously have to find your way, but work hard to either find multiple photo gigs for people that you can work with and be a second shooter so you got cash coming in while you try to build up your own way to go. But if you're literally starting from scratch, you're not going to be a pro in 3 months unless you're the next coming of the next coming.
Yeah. Now, are they just referring to pro as just having their going full-time, like, business photography?
It doesn't define that, but maybe that's what they mean.
Yeah.
You need to go hard at this.
Oh, yeah.
Find the money, find the jobs. If you can do that, then you got it.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy being green. All right, so I got to make sure that I have my notes because yours are mixed in with mine.
Oh, yeah, I put mine on the bottom.
Yeah, you did. So you boobs or boobs? Boobs or butt?
Me?
Yo, I know that answer.
What's that answer?
Your answer is you love boobs.
I do.
I've seen you out.
What?
I've seen you at the bar.
And I'm probably not talking to any women.
When you drink a little bit,
Maybe when I drink a little bit.
you're all ready to dance.
That's when you know that I'm drunk, is when I'm dancing, because I don't unless I have some alcohol in me. A lot of alcohol in me.
I've seen you dance.
Yeah, you see me dance like that one time.
I did.
And I was pretty heavily
It
intoxicated.
was your
that night.
birthday.
That was my birthday. You're right. Yeah, that's probably why I was heavily intoxicated.
No, that wasn't your birthday. That was the second time I saw you drunk and you weren't dancing. It was the
what-
time before at the Morgan's Pier.
That was my actual birthday, wasn't it?
No.
Or the day after or
No,
something?
because we went out on a Friday. That was like a Friday,
I
and
don't
then
know.
you did a Saturday at my place for your birthday.
Okay,
with
gotcha.
Brewer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She's in Africa now, too.
she's in Africa, and she took her. I mean, her pictures look great of great white sharks coming from the GoPro.
Yeah, we gave her, we didn't give her, but we told her to get a GoPro, and she
Well,
did.
she got a GoPro, but we told her to get more cards. She's like, I won't have a computer. I'm like, then go buy some 64 gigabyte cards. The more you have. She's like, but that's money. That's expensive. I'm like, you're going to Africa once.
Yeah.
Take the freaking pictures. Get the money.
It's worth the extra $30-$40 to get an extra micro SD card.
Turned down for what?
Dude, did you see the pictures she put? Like the freaking jaws coming out of the water? It's
Literally
insane.
jaws coming
Literally
out of the
jaws.
water.
It looks like she's on the set of like Jaws 3 or 4 or whatever
4.
they're on.
Would be
yeah.
4.
4.
It's like Sharknado,
Yeah, exactly.
which I've never watched, and I will not watch.
It's terrible.
I will not watch. So, yeah, that comes up to almost the end of the Raw Talk number 98.
Oh, yeah?
That was like Mario and Mario, Luigi, Toadstool, Princess. Her name was Princess, right? The Princess.
I think. Or was it
Koopa.
Toad? Toad was one of them.
Toadstool. I already said Toadstool.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, but his head's like mushroom head.
Yeah, it is.
He's like a drug, a walking drug.
He is.
But anyway, so that was a little different. I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. A lot of stuff we talked about early. Good photo news. Good rapid fiery
Good singing.
questions. Great sing. I think it was some of the best
Incredible singing.
ever in the history of Raw Talk.
I should probably auto-tune some of them.
You should always auto-tune. When in doubt, auto-tune. We had the gear of the week. You saw a nasty clamp, and you saw the
Nasty
KB condoms. keyboard covers.
Perfect combination.
Thank you to Atomos. They're this week's sponsor, as we talked about earlier. We still love them and wish we could get one for every single camera.
Yes.
That would chew up more space, which means we need to get a sponsor that does hard drives so that we could store more stuff.
Western Digital.
Could be Western Digital. Could
Looking
it
at
be
you.
Western Digital? Could be. Thank you to Rode Microphones, Alan's Camera. Thank you to everybody on the Wheel of the Fro. This week's winner is getting the Adorama Pix stuff. Go to Adorama Pix and take a look for, that's what I use for my metal prints and all of that. So, we are creeping up here on number 99 and 100 shortly. This is number 98. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No. I mean, the 100, should we talk about where we're going to be?
Well, we haven't figured out what we're going to
do yet.
We know that we're going out to San Francisco, and it's possible that that could be the 100th show. Look, it's just
Very
another
possible.
show. It doesn't have to be the most. We could do like the 127th show as a big blowout, right? If we really, really wanted. It doesn't matter when it is, but yes, it's pretty awesome to have 100 weeks of something done.
Well, and it's going to be pretty cool, the fact that it's going to be a live show.
Live
With a
recorded
live audience, I should say.
at the Think Tank, and thanks to Squarespace
Yep.
for picking up the tab.
Definitely.
So we're going to call it a day, right? That's it for Raw Talk episode number 98. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.